the battalion, when you show up, it's just the guys are really on board with what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Because I got there probably 3 weeks before our famous, but it wasn't really a battle, on 22 May, where we decimated a VC training battalion, basically. And I remember being at the talk, when he's planning all this. Hackworth had this innate quality to just smell out the enemy, even with all the intelligence we get and all this stuff. He was able to figure out what they were doing. And so he set us up for that night. But to address what you were saying, by the time I got there, Takahashi was the first guy I met, okay? He was really a strong straight shooter, and he was the S4. And so he got all the equipment for the battalion, and he got it whatever way he had to get it, And then the next guy I meet is a company commander, and the guy was like 6'3" or something, So I'm seeing a pattern here, right? And I'm 5'5", okay? But here's the cool thing about this. One of the other company commanders, his name was Don Meyer. And by the way, Hackworth had this really cool way of using words and terms and titles that, like our companies were not Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. They were Alert, Battle, Claymore, and Dagger, okay? And the Claymore company commander was a guy by the name of Don Myers. Don Myers was my roommate in college at the University of Illinois, and we both were infantry ROTC guys,
wow.
right? And then later, he was with the 101st, and he was wounded, so they shipped him to Fitzsimmons. And then they assigned him to Fort Lewis, which was where Hackworth and I were. So Don and I were roommates again at Fort Lewis, Washington, okay? So then Hackworth ships to Vietnam, and he takes Myers with him, okay? So now Myers, who, by the way, is 6'3", right? and his nickname was Lank, And when he and I were in college as roommates, it was like Mutt and Jeff, And I wasn't the tall guy. And so anyway, but as you can understand, I commanded Battle Company, and he commanded Claymore Company. And I knew that if we were going to run into any crap, that he would be there for me, and he knew I would be there for him.
Yeah.
And that was it was really good.
Yeah, that whole thing with names is something that I completely ripped off from Hackworth when I was a task unit commander. Our task unit was called, there was Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, and I had Bravo, and immediately when I took it over, I changed the name from Bravo to Bruiser. And that changed the attitude of people. It really does.
Well, also, as you know, all elite units have greetings and countersigns, right? So for the hardcore, our motto was hardcore recondo. That was what the greeting was. The countersign, which I cannot say totally, was no effing slack. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, there were guys, I saw this, I witnessed this. There were guys who were wounded on stretchers, and Hackworth would walk up to them, and they'd salute them and say hardcore recondo.
Yeah.